Welcome to Scale Her Up, the show for female business owners and leaders who want to grow profitable, sustainable businesses without burning out. I'm Dr. Brenda Hector, a business growth specialist helping women develop themselves and their businesses so they can achieve their goals and enjoy the lifestyle they dream of. In each episode, you'll hear inspiring stories, honest conversations, and practical strategies to help you start, grow, or scale your business. If you're new here, hit follow so you don't miss an episode, and come and join our Scale Her Up Facebook community to keep the conversation going. And today, the conversation is with Emma Coleman of Emma Coleman Skin. Thank you so much for joining me today, Emma.
You're welcome, Brenda. It's so lovely to be here.
That was great to have you. So let's start with what you do in your business. What does Emma Coleman Skin do?
We are a small chain of 3 clinics in North Kent, and we try to offer everything that you can imagine in the world of skin, really. Everything really from the most basic facial up to cyst and lipoma removals and everything in between. We try to cater for all budgets, and sometimes I do see children under 18 as well. We are based in the locality. I suppose my USP really is that we are easily accessible without needing to go to somewhere like Harley Street, for example,
Okay.
for all people of all ages.
Fantastic. Your typical customer, I assume, is probably a woman. Yeah.
Yes.
What are we talking? 90%, 99%?
Yeah, that's a good question, actually. I think we have seen more men coming through for things like lesion and moly type stuff. That's definitely more male dominated, but in the kind of the more beauty side of the business, it's still, I would say, probably about 98% female.
Okay. Okay. And you're doing everything from facials to the injectable
Exactly.
and all of that. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's more about taking more of a holistic approach and thinking about wellness alongside what we can see physically, the outside, which is important.
So, given that your name is above the door, I'm going to assume that you were the founder.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Tell me what inspired you to start? What was that process like? Why did you start your first clinic?
Yes. My background is I'm a registered general nurse. I still today belong to the NMC, the Nursing and Midwifery Council. I worked in the NHS for 20 years. I got some dermatology experience. I didn't have a qualification at that stage, but I found my following, if you like. I just really enjoyed looking at people's skin, not the most glamorous thing in the world, but I really enjoyed it. And then I decided to gradually leave the NHS in 2015, which was a really hard decision to make. But I knew that if I wanted my business to grow and expand, I would need to give it 100% of my efforts and time. Yeah, go on, sorry.
Start as a side hustle.
It did start as a side hustle. I actually had 3 jobs when I first started my business. I had 3 small children. I've got sons, and I was on the school runs and running and trying to set my business up and still working in the NHS. And I used to go and do massages in a nursing home as well at that time. So I had 3 different income streams. But yeah, I realized I was being a busy fool, really. So I decided to. So what I did was I decided to save costs. I decided to set my first clinic up in my house, and was in Bromley at the time in North Kent. And then I realised that in order to develop a more professional service, I needed to get out of my house eventually. So that was how it started, really. So it very much came from a medical background and then expanded more into the beauty side as I went along. That's how it was.
So, did you see a gap in the market? Was there nobody doing this, or?
Exactly. So what happened was, obviously, as I said to you earlier, I set my business up in 2015, and then in 2020, COVID happened. What that did to the NHS and the poor GPs, who I do have a lot of sympathy for, they became more stretched. They were unable to see all of the people who were going to them for things like skin tags and then more serious kind of skin concerns that they might have that were affecting their quality of life or might be actually dangerous. And waiting lists for dermatologists were growing as well in secondary care. So There was definitely a gap in the market to have someone local that people could go to who understood what they were doing and would be able to help without A, costing an absolute fortune, but B, without having to travel as well. That was how that side of the business then started to grow. I then did a clinical dermatology diploma in, I think it was 2017. I'd already completed that with the University of South Wales. So that kind of helped me to be more specialised and streamline and improve my skills.
So going from a clinic that you set up in your own home to now having three clinics, that's quite a journey over what, 11 years you're saying there? What have you learned about yourself over those 11 years?
I've learned that I'm good at multitasking, but I think I learned that in the NHS, to be honest. We had to,
Mm.
when I was working on wards, we had to learn to prioritise with the most important. You okay? Go on, let it out, let it out.
I just muted myself to have a little cough.
Yeah, so I think obviously when you're a staff nurse, you're wearing a lot of hats. And when I then went and worked out in secondary care, it was the same. We had to, and sorry, when I then went out into the community and worked in primary care, again, we had to be really good at prioritising the most important tasks. So that's something that I've learned that I'm quite good at and compartmentalising really
A
in the
lot,
business.
a lot of transferable skills from the NHS to running a business then.
Yes, I can stay calm when things go wrong, which they do almost on a daily basis. And I can calm other people down and uh, provide a solution just by being able to block everything else out, really, and just focus on one thing that's a priority.
Because when you're running a business, there's a lot going on. So if you let all of it into your head at the same time, you're really going to struggle, aren't you? I, I,
Yes, you could potentially implode.
yeah. And we're laughing because, yeah, we've been running businesses for a long time and we know that. But yeah, it can be a challenge, but it's
Yes.
also very rewarding. What's been the most rewarding time,
Yeah.
something that happened in your business?
I think because I was on my own working for a long time, for a lot of years, I was just me all by myself. And then I started to take on more staff and inherit more staff. And I think for me, the rewarding thing has been learning that I'm actually able to do that and also mentoring those staff because some of my staff are quite young. They're still in their early 20s. And it's always really nice to sit down with them and see them progressing and learning and really helping to bring them on and mentor them as well.
So I'm just going to jump on something you said there, which you said you've inherited staff. So does that mean that you grew your business by acquisition?
Yes. So about 2.5 years ago, I took over a clinic. So I did inherit at that point. I'm trying to think. I think I inherited one staff member at that point who was already working in the business. And obviously I kept her on. And so, yeah, it was quite, yeah. So that was the biggest thing I've ever probably done. It was very difficult, but I did it and I managed to get through it. So, yeah. And then the other staff I have recruited myself.
So let's just talk about them taking over another business. So you had one. Did you open the second one?
So
Or
I had, yeah. So what happened was by the time I was taking over this other business, I'd moved out of my house because we sold it. So I couldn't work there anymore. And then what happened was I took over this other business, which was actually a beauty salon at the time. So it was functioning in some way. For example, they had a booking system, which I've used ever since. In some ways it fitted, but in other ways I had to get rid of some of the services that they were offering it and introduce a lot of new other services. And then what I did was I closed down one of my other clinics, but I kept the second one, which I already had at the time. So that's how it worked.
taking over somebody else's business, you've alluded to the changes that you had to make. That can be difficult. Customers and staff like can like it the way things are. Was that a challenge to make those kind of changes, bringing the Emma Coleman business structure and culture? Yeah.
Yes, yeah, I was nervous about it, to be honest. And I think from day one, I said, look, I'm not going to come in and try and change everything overnight. We're going on a journey together and it's going to be a process. To be quite honest, at that point, I didn't even really know exactly what I was going to introduce anyway, because everything was on a budget. I literally was pretty much living hand to mouth. I had to be really careful about what we got rid of and what we kept and what we introduced at that point. But we did manage, and I managed to keep the key members of staff, and they're still with me now. That's really nice. So they've stuck with me through
Good.
everything.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. You mentioned when you started out to keep costs low, you did it at home. You mentioned that there wasn't a lot of funding in taking over. So, d- have you been bootstrapping? I think that's the term, isn't it? Where you do it by the build your business from the straps of your boots. As
Yes.
yeah,
Yes, definitely. Yeah. Even now, to be honest, because I opened another clinic in June last year. So we're newest clinic is nearly one, but but that one has really been like building a new business from scratch. So I've really done all my expansion the last 2.5 years, which was really clever of me. But it's just the way things turned out. I'm a great believer in if an opportunity comes up, you should take it because otherwise someone else will do it, or you look back and think, oh, I wish I'd done it. I have done it and I'm managing. But yeah, it's been very much, what was the term we used? Bootstrapping.
yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Very much sort of hand to mouth and trying to figure out all the time how to make it work.
So I think the money side of business can be a challenge for a lot of people, can't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Cash flow is a daily challenge. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Definitely. How do I manage that? I suppose I just keep an eye on absolutely everything. I look at everything every single day is really, it's about lots of things, but money always plays a big part in my daily routine. And right from when I wake up, really, in the morning, and sometimes even in the night, at 3 or 4 in the morning.
Yeah, yeah. I'm sure there are many people listening, nodding, going, "Yeah, I know what you mean." Yeah, yeah. But that's what we're in business for, isn't it?
Yes,
Yeah.
it's challenging, and I like the challenge of that side of it and all of the aspects, really. But yeah, I don't think I could go back to doing, I don't know, something 9 to 5 and then go home and not have something else to do. It would be hard for me to do that now, I feel.
A lot of people that I talk to say the same. Yeah, I couldn't be employed any lot. I'm unemployable now. Yeah.
I know, that's the thing, isn't it? Yeah. So yeah, I think that's it. I've turned a corner and I can't go back.
I had a question in my head and it's just disappeared. Apologies for that. That's
Don't worry. Don't worry.
menopausal. Yeah,
Oh
brain
God,
fog.
don't.
Yeah, I know what it was. Do you think you were always destined to be a business owner?
It's funny because I feel I always had itchy feet when I was working in the NHS. I was always chopping and changing, and yes, and I think even I remember when I was doing my nursing course, my final sort of dissertation, if you like, was about holistic wellness. And so I definitely always had that kind of interest. But yeah, it's funny. I don't know, but yeah, I clearly did have it was clearly always in me because I probably am quite an independent person. My husband would definitely say that. I'm always off doing something. But yeah, I'm quite independent and single minded in my thinking. I'm not easily swayed, put it that way.
Did you come from an entrepreneurial family?
No, not really. No, my mum is a hairdresser. My dad, although she did have her own business and her own clients, but she very much ran it. She would go to people's houses. She still does. She's in her 70s, bless her. She still does it. My dad worked for a sort of fabric firm. That was always his business. So he got into interior design. He's very good with people. He was very good at sales and that sort of thing. So I probably picked up different skills from both of them, I would say.
Yeah, it sounds like your mum definitely has an independent streak
Yeah.
necessary and to be a business owner, isn't it? Yeah.
That's right, yeah, yeah, exactly.
And
Absolutely.
sales. So lots of people find sales hard. They get into
Mm.
business because they want to provide a service and then they discover that actually they have to sell. Is that difficult for you?
Yes, I remember taking on staff in the early days and they were saying to me, "You're not selling anything." And I said, "Oh, I don't want to be pushy." And again, I think I came from a very non-commercial background. in the NHS and it felt strange. However, I feel over time, as I've expanded, my confidence has grown. And now there's something about having the name and having the name above the door and having 3 branches now, which kind of advertise themselves because 2 of them are on high streets. So people want you. They want you to sell to them, and actually they want to hear your expertise and advice, and that's quite nice because that's made it a bit easier for me to get better at that skill.
And you're selling something that makes people feel better about themselves.
Yes, exactly.
So
That's right.
there's a big emotional connection to what they're buying from you, isn't there?
Yes, there is. Skin is an organ and it's very visible. Sorry, bear with me. How do I turn that? Sorry.
That's okay.
Yep, I'm back again. Yes, yeah. So there are a lot of emotions attached to skin. Aside from the kind of more aesthetic side, which is do some injections to improve the skin or smooth things out and tighten things up and things like that. There is more of an emotional side where, for example, I see quite a lot of teenagers coming in with their mum or dad and they come in and they don't make eye contact. And even older people, actually, 30 plus, who might still be experiencing spots and they've never really been able to get their skin under control. They say things like they can't go to work or they take days off or they have become more socially isolated because of their skin. It's great. It's lovely for me to come up with a plan for them that's really tailored for them and then see them after a month and they're saying, "Oh, my skin's so much better." That's a really nice part of my business. Yeah, definitely. That's important to me.
That's a bit emotional for me, actually. I had terrible acne as an adult,
Oh,
felt probably until menopause started having an impact, actually.
really?
Yeah.
Oh.
I know that it's something that affects people's confidence a lot, isn't it?
Yes, and sometimes we have someone coming in, it might be the last appointment of the day that they've purposely taken because they don't want to go out without makeup, they don't want to be seen. And yeah, so again, that's a big side of what I do as well, taking all of that into account.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's great. It's great. How big's your team? How many staff do you have now?
That's a good question. So I've got my medical people are generally they're not on the payroll. I tend to pay them a percentage of the sales, which is standard in this industry. They're all really good and obviously it's always important that I recruit really carefully, but they're all lovely people as well. And that's important that I feel comfortable with my team and that we have a similar kind of ethos. So that's important. So at the moment, I've got I think I've got 4 medical people that I work with. And then I'm trying to recruit another one at the moment. And then I think I've got 10 other staff, including me, because obviously I'm on the payroll too.
Yeah. What was it like hiring your first team member?
Yeah, it was scary. I always used to say to my husband, because my husband's got his own business, and I always say, "Oh, I'm just not cut out. I can't do recruitment." And I wouldn't know what to say or how to behave or what. But so it was a bit nerve wracking. But once I'd done it once, then then I was off. It was fine, and it's the training as well, isn't it? It's training someone and really introducing them into your business, creating that culture for them, what's expected, all of that. Aside from the more practical training, it's creating as I say, like a culture really. And that's all part of the recruitment process. So yeah, it was nerve wracking, but I got through it. And then I do it all the time now. I don't even think about it.
Have you made mistakes in the hiring over the years?
Yeah, I think so sometimes. Nothing really bad, touch wood, nothing really terrible, but just maybe not quite the right skill set. I haven't quite identified what my business needed. I've done that a few times. So then I've had to make another solution to the problem, if that makes sense, possibly by hiring someone else and then trying to miraculously grow the business at the same time to get the sales up, the turnovers. But yeah, I wouldn't say anything bad. I have had to let people go on the spot a few times, and again, that's another skill that I've had to learn. But at the end of the day, when you're living your and breathing your business every day, you care about it so much that you
Yeah.
care about its future and you just want the best for it. It's like a child. So
It is, absolutely,
yeah,
isn't it?
yeah. So you'll do anything for it really. So you just know that's the right thing to do. But yeah, so it's definitely a few pitfalls along the way.
Yeah. Yeah. And you were talking about having to hire someone else and then generate the income to pay for them. It's a difficult chicken and egg scenario there, isn't it? We need somebody else, but have we got enough business coming in to pay for them? And if we don't bring them in, will we ever get enough business to pay for them? So that can be a difficult scenario there.
Yes, exactly. And in I think October last year, I did have to really look at my outgoings and make some sort of difficult decisions that I knew were going to be difficult for people in the lead up to Christmas and things like that. But I had to, because otherwise, and I think that was a learning for me, because I didn't want to, obviously, no one wants to upset anyone. And at the end of the day, you still have to work together as well. But at the same time, I knew it was the right thing to do, to cut some hours and things like that and reduce down, because for this, again, for the future of all of us, really, and all of our jobs and the business
Mm.
as well.
But it's a bit of a responsibility, isn't it? Because salaries to be paid.
Exactly, yeah. It's huge responsibility, yeah. But I feel that overall I do look after my staff. I'm fair, and I try to, for example, we have a bonus scheme every month for all of the people on the payroll. And I'm always looking at it and trying to make it so that they can hopefully hit it, make it reasonable and realistic, because we want motivated staff. I want people to want to come to work every day and do their best. But it's ongoing, as you can imagine.
Yeah, yeah. And not everybody's motivated by money either, which can be a challenge.
No,
Yeah,
that's very true, actually. Yeah, yeah. And yes, you're exactly right. Everyone has a different approach and a different personality, and you have to take all of those things into account.
yeah. This podcast is all about encouraging women to start and scale their businesses. You have done both. You've started and now it's scaling nicely. What advice would you have for someone following in your footsteps?
I would say it's funny, actually, because I've got three sons, as I said earlier, but my middle one, he's 23. He is actually trying to set up a business at the moment, just a little sideline. But I just keep saying to him, "You're trying to get everything perfect, and you just won't. You know, your website can launch. It might not be perfect, but you can still launch it, and it will be definitely a work in progress." And I think that's businesses for you. What I've had to learn over the years is that it changes all the time. You change, the business changes, the market changes. And so anything that you do is a work in progress. There's not such thing as a perfect business.
Yeah, done is better than perfect.
Yes, exactly. And yeah, and I think if you are struggling with incomes as well, manifestation always really works for me. It's something that I do every single day. It might not be everyone's cup of tea, but it definitely helps to focus me on one specific thing, if nothing else. So I have a weekly sales target in my mind that I want us to achieve. We don't always, it doesn't always
Yeah.
work. But if you're having a really difficult time, it can sometimes just really help actually to focus your mind, and also obviously never be afraid to kind of network and meet new people and things like that, because you never stop learning. That would
How
be
important,
great tips.
how important has networking been for you in your business then?
It's funny because I have joined a couple of network groups and then I've left because I've just found it too demanding, to be honest, and I haven't really got time. But funnily enough, I went to my my most recent business. That the shop is a place called Seven Oaks, which is in South Kent. It's going into sort of southern Kent. And I went to a business network with the Chamber of Commerce yesterday, actually. And I hadn't been to one for ages. So I went to a networking group yesterday morning. And it was actually really good just to speak to people with other businesses, because, as I said to you earlier, really, you can never stop learning from each other. Even if you come away with one idea and you never go back, or you meet one person whose number you take and you never go back again, then to me, it's been worthwhile.
Still been worthwhile. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
And it's lonely being in business, isn't it? Being a business owner.
Yes, it's very lonely. And yeah, it's nice. And for example, in my friendship groups, I'm the only person in my friendship groups in my position. So I see myself in quite a unique position. I haven't really got anyone in my friendship groups that I could speak to. Again, going to networking can really help. We all have the same struggles at the end of the day. It doesn't matter what business you've got. We're all really have our ups and downs, have good and bad days. Things go wrong with staff and money and things like that. And it's nice to have other like-minded people to speak to.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So that's one thing that I found valuable from the networking, definitely.
So, who's been your biggest supporter in business?
I would say my husband's always there for me. He doesn't always agree with what I'm doing, I have to say. He's quite often put up quite a fight for me not to do things. Obviously, I've won, but at the same time, he does this because actually he's got his own business, as I said to you earlier. So he understands the trials and tribulations, and actually he's shrunk his business really down now. So he works from home. He works on his own. Hasn't really got any staff or anything. So he was me probably about 20 years ago. So he understands. He has been where I am, and he understands the all of the kind of daily grind problems that sometimes I come home with, but I do try not to too much. I try to
Uh,
leave it at work.
he's been your biggest supporter. You might as well give him a shout out. What's his name?
Oh, Andrew Coleman.
Yeah. Good. Well done, Andrew. Supporting women in business. Fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
no, he's been good.
one of the questions that I ask a lot of my guests is if you could go back and meet your 18-year-old self, what advice would you give her?
Stop smoking. So I used to
Oh, it's
smoke back then.
terrible for your skin.
I know it's so bad for your skin. I know it's terrible. Okay, so I would probably, what would I say to myself? Concentrate more, really, probably, because I probably wasn't very good at concentrating back then on one thing. I was all over the place and trying to do everything and rushing and, yeah, slow down, notice things a bit more and work harder, study more. I was a bit lazy with my studying.
Where you are now. It's
Yeah, no, it's been.
when I
Oh, thank you. That's kind. Yeah, it's been a roller coaster ride, really. But yeah, all fun. All part of the fun. How long have you been in business?
I have been doing this for 7.5 years as a business
Mm.
coach. We had a sideline business. We ran a wedding card business for 12 years.
Oh, okay.
And I've dabbled a bit in some sort of self-employment things as well. So yeah, lots of years probably. Yeah. And
Yeah,
it,
lots of different things going on.
yeah.
But yeah, working for yourself, whatever it is, really, you're just learning new skills all the time, really, aren't you?
It's funny actually. There's you asking me a question, and yeah, but my husband was the one when I met my husband. He thought he wanted to have his own business, and I learned that
Mm.
never on my radar. But actually, he doesn't have his own business. He's employed, and I'm the one that has my own business. So it's funny the way it works out, isn't it?
Yeah, it's funny how things turn out. And obviously, again, marriage is like a journey, really, isn't it? Much the same way. Things don't stay the same. You just poodle along and yeah. But yeah, it's interesting. It's weird how things turn out in the end.
I'm just reflecting actually on the resilience that's required to build and continue in a business and to actually keep a marriage going. We'll be 25 years married next month.
Well,
Maybe there's a blog.
congratulations.
There's a blog or something there, Emma. Thank you for that information.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
So, is there anything that I should have asked you that I haven't, Emma? Anything you want to add to the conversation?
No, not really. I think you've pretty much covered everything. I've tried to be as honest as I can because I think people don't always talk to you about what goes on behind the scenes. It's all wow, business, and it sounds good, but actually it can be really hard and not very nice sometimes. Um,
Absolutely. And when you were talking about networking, what I think is really important is that when you're talking to another business owner, when you're networking and they go, how's things? Saying, oh, fine. Yeah, business is good. Is
Mm.
not necessarily the most helpful thing. You don't have to put on a front. Maybe actually share with someone, that this is not a great time in business and getting their input, or they might offer words of wisdom or some sort of help, or there are lots of people out there that would be more than willing to help you if they knew that you needed some help, if that makes sense.
Yes, exactly. And I think we have a lot of pride, don't we? And we pretend quite a lot as a nation, I would
But
say.
it's all going on. Yeah.
Yeah, and we cover it up because I've had times where I've just felt ashamed to say, actually, when I've really thought about it, that actually I'm having a really rubbish time. Yeah, it's always nice. And I think it's always good to have those opportunities and make those opportunities for yourself. And yeah, actually realize that we are human and we're not infallible.
And sometimes the decisions we make in our business turn out not to be the best decisions
Yeah.
we could have made. And yeah, sometimes yeah, things are not going so well. There's a bit of shame. But actually, people make decisions based on the best information that they have at the time. And yeah, but
Yeah.
there are lots of people out there going through the same challenges.
Yes, exactly. And yeah, and as you said, when you're on your own in your head sometimes, because it can be lonely, how are you supposed to make the right decision all the time? You can't. It might not be, I don't see them as mistakes though. They're just maybe not the best decision.
Yeah. The only mistake is not learning from your failure.
Yes, that's very true. Yeah, absolutely.
I heard someone say just the other week that there are two types of people that you don't want in your business: people who never make a mistake, because that means they're not trying, and people who keep making the same mistake.
Yes. Yeah, very true. Definitely resonating.
So, where does the future take Emma Coleman Skin then? What's the next big
Yeah,
milestone or goal that you're aiming for?
I think I'm not going to be doing any more expansion for a while. I think I've done enough of that for the time being. I need to build what I've got now and make it a strong brand, and probably maybe take a little bit of a step back from the treatment because I'm with clients every day. I've just taken a break today to come and talk to you. I've got clients after you. I've had clients all day. And then just become a bit more of a manager, really, and a director. And because I do a lot of the marketing now myself anyway. So I would like to do more of that and actually managing the team. And as I said to you earlier, mentoring and bringing people on, finding out what their skills are and all of that sort of stuff, really.
So, strengthening.
Exactly, strengthening. And then I'm applying at the moment for, have you heard of the 10,000 businesses? I think Goldman Sachs run it. Have you ever heard of it? 10,000 businesses. It's a free, I think it's 9 or 12 weeks long and they coach you. It's free coaching, but you also meet other business owners. So I was thinking of applying for that as well. It's just finding the time to do the application form because it's really long. But I was thinking of doing that. Actually, one of my clients told me about it. But yeah, you have to be vetted to get on. So I don't even know if I would get on. But yeah, maybe that might help me to know what to do next.
Well, fingers crossed that you're successful there.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Um, Emma, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on the show. Thank you very much for taking the time.
Thank you. Yeah, it's been lovely. And it's my first podcast, as I said. So it's been really nice to do it and talk to you.
You were a
Thank you.
star, an absolute star. Brilliant. And
Thanks.
I'm just going to mention, I've had a guest on before who joined me from the car because she couldn't get any peace and quiet and she just blurred her background.
Oh,
And I think big up to you for joining me from your store cupboard, because
yes.
these are the challenges. This is a real reality of running a business. So I've just
It's the reality.
to mention there. Thank
I
you
know.
very
You can
much.
see the paper towels in the background.
Thank you very much for joining me.
All
And
right.
thank you to you for listening to Scale Her Up. If you enjoyed this episode, follow the show and leave a review. It helps more female business owners find us. Come and join our Scale Her Up Facebook community to get support, accountability, and connection with other women who get it. And remember, only 1 in 3 UK entrepreneurs are female, and men are still 5 times more likely to scale their business beyond £1 million in turnover than women. When we start and scale our businesses to the same extent as men, we'll add £250 billion to the UK economy and create millions of jobs. So, ladies, you can do it, and your business can make a massive difference.